This is Brother Darrius, Jerome Gourdine, the author of the book Jules. Jules is the story of the founding of our fraternity. What I did, I took all the facts about our founding and I told it as a novel. So when the book opens up, Henry Callis is in high school, goes from high school on to Cornell, meets all the other guys, Robert and Vertner and George and Cece, and they get to meeting and planning and arguing. But I wrote the book in first person from all 7 Jules. So you really get a perspective of what each was going through, what they were motivated by, because they were each different from one another. Charles Chapman, being 27 years old at the time and owning 2 businesses, didn't think like everyone else. So I had to write it from a perspective that made sense for each of the founders. But I tried to give these guys more of a human side to them, tell you who they were as college students, give them a little background, what made them tick, why Vertner was so funny all the time. You know, I kind of try to give them a more realistic side to the story. The history book obviously is great, but I wanted to make an attachment to the history book where these things come to life. Most alphas know their history. So you know the banquet menu items. So when you see it coming out in the book, it just comes to life for you. So I tried my best to, you know, give you a little bit of a history of it. And brothers have been very, very supportive. They've been extremely supportive. Well, I was actually praying. I needed a new idea, and it's the best place to get ideas is from God. So I'm praying. I felt like he was saying, write a book about alpha, which I didn't understand because we have one already. And I prayed again, and he said the same thing. After a while, my hard-headedness, I got it. And so I called Brother Mason. We've been friends for years, and I said, Brother Mason, I got this idea. What do you think? And he says, listen, you know, if anybody's going to do this, it needs to be you. But if you're going to do it, you got to tell the story right. You can't make CC a bad guy. And let me get you this information. So while I was doing the book, he was doing the Centennial exhibit. So he was in it and I was in it. So he starts sending me all this information. I mean, he's pouring. I think he must have been there when all this went down. But he's sending me all this information to include into the book. Because there's so much about these guys that I had to learn in order to tell the story correctly. When they got to Cornell, they were fans of Booker T. Washington. When they graduated from Cornell, they were fans of W.E.B. What made them switch? You're talking about 2 totally different ideologies. I go into the book. If you are an alpha, you cannot forget this website address. It is www.jules1906.com. You can't forget that.